Meghan Markle is truly one of the most dangerous public figures on the world stage at the moment.
Meghan Markle is always attempting to, shall we say, build relationships with very, very, very rich.
Dubai's skyline wasn't just glowing. It was on fire under that desert sun. Private jets lined up like trophies, everything polished to perfection, built for the world's elite. Power, control, precision, nothing here is meant to slip. But this time, something did. The spotlight didn't land on billionaires or royalty.
This woman is nothing but a publicity whore. It's a term of art. We broke the news that she had Prince Harry on her vision board when she was younger. That was her goal, #goal, to marry Prince Harry. So it was all about getting the title. She's done that now. Now she's just stuck with this depressed ginger who has absolutely no family, no friends. And
it locked straight onto Meghan Markle, and just like that, the energy shifted fast. Tension didn't creep in. It snapped tight. Quiet whispers started racing through media and diplomatic circles. A powerful Dubai figure had already raised concerns behind the scenes, and suddenly that smooth, glamorous arrival felt off. Behind closed doors, talks got sharp, questions stacked up, and the pressure started building quick. Then it blew up.
These billionaires can sense one thing. When you're not looking for a partner, you're looking for a solution. And that's obviously the lane that Meghan Markle's in now. She doesn't make really her own money. This whole Netflix thing is just a ruse. We all know this is made up just to give her some.
What started as quiet talk spread across headlines worldwide. The same woman who once called the royal system cold and unfair was now reportedly seeking support. But what came back felt cold, almost like silence. Buckingham Palace got pulled straight into the storm. Then, out of nowhere, boom, a 17-word statement dropped. Short, sharp, and heavy. And just like that, everything changed. This wasn't rumor anymore. This was real pressure. It came straight from Prince William himself, and it hit hard. The message was clear. The royal family will not provide diplomatic backing for Meghan Markle. She doesn't represent the crown in any way, and she's not allowed to use its name for private moves. No soft wording, no careful spin, just a line drawn right in public. The future king didn't stay quiet or pass it off. He stepped in directly and made sure everyone heard it loud and clear. And it didn't stop there. After headlines exploded, the palace doubled down, shutting down any doubt and locking in their stance. The follow-up only made it sharper. Her travel, her connections, none of it ties back to the royal household.
Benefit of her bargain with Harry because she got the title. That's what she wanted. She wanted to be world famous. She wanted the title. You remember when Harry was single, he was the elephant. He was the one, the most eligible bachelor on earth. You could be a royal, you could become world famous overnight. You could live in a castle. You could have access to the crown jewels. You would be a princess. My God, yes, he could have had his.
No gray area, no loopholes, just a straight statement for the world to see. Even the UK's diplomatic channels were spelled out, handled only through official government routes, not personal status or media fame. The message was simple but heavy. Being married to Prince Harry doesn't equal royal power. Titles don't open doors, and private deals don't come with palace protection. And just like that, the spotlight lost its shine, leaving one big question: what really went wrong in Dubai? Meghan reportedly touched down expecting full VIP treatment the second her jet hit the runway. The plan seemed simple: smooth entry, no delays, straight into private meetings with luxury brands and top investors. But that's not how it played out at all. She walked into the terminal dressed head to toe in designer fashion, every detail sharp under those bright lights. A small entourage trailed behind, moving like everything was already set. Then the shift hit. The second she reached immigration, the energy turned tight, controlled, like something had already been flagged before she even stepped up. UAE officers approached and calmly guided her aside. It started as routine questions, but quickly turned into something more. She was escorted into a private room, documents checked carefully, everything quiet, but that silence felt heavy. No long talks, no back and forth, just a decision. And within about an hour, she was quietly escorted out.
But the reality is not that. The reality is she's a joke. It's embarrassing at this point. It's like, oh my gosh, for real, Meghan, you did that? You're going to keep doing this? I mean, wow.
Kept away from cameras and sent toward the next flight out. Authorities stayed silent, and under UAE law, they don't have to explain anything. Reports say she tried to lean on royal ties, but this time, it didn't move anything at all. She had once said she felt pushed out while trying to build independence in the UK. But now the situation flipped. This time, reports claim she was reaching back, hoping that same institution would step in and help. People familiar with UAE diplomatic circles say this wasn't casual at all. The push for support came in strong, direct, and persistent, right in the middle of rising tension. During those exchanges, 3 key points reportedly came up. First, her marriage to Prince Harry. Second, her role as a mother connected to Queen Elizabeth II's legacy. And third, that's where things got sharper. According to multiple accounts, questions started circling around school registration details linked to her family. What should have been routine suddenly pulled attention, adding pressure to an already tight situation. Observers began asking serious questions. How does something so standard trigger deeper checks? That alone sparked speculation inside Dubai circles, and the tension didn't slow down. It climbed fast. Messages reportedly reached Buckingham Palace quickly. Then came the response. Firm, direct, no confusion. She was left to handle it alone, and the message hit even harder the second time. It reinforced one thing loud and clear. Meghan Markle's travel issues were strictly for official authorities, and the royal household would not step in. That hit heavy. No royal backup, no diplomatic shield, no crown connection working behind the scenes. And just when the pressure was already high, Princess Anne reportedly stepped in, and her stance came even tougher. If William's message shut the door, Anne's locked it tight. A statement circulated through Commonwealth and diplomatic circles, leaving zero room for confusion. Meghan Markle and her husband do not act on behalf of the crown, the monarchy, or the United Kingdom. Any attempt to link their actions to the institution is purely speculative, legally unsubstantiated, and rejected. And it didn't stop there. The warning pushed further. Royal titles were off limits for private deals, promotions, or global ventures tied to personal gain. This wasn't subtle. It felt like a global signal. The message spread fast, and one thing was clear. No more royal representation, no gray area, no exceptions. Some commentators started pointing at early cracks, saying the whole setup leaned more on image and connections than anything solid. Then another detail popped up, and it added pressure fast. People close to the Montecito property claimed there were already issues behind the scenes. Reports mentioned disputes over payments, renovation approvals, and financial paperwork tied to the estate. There were even claims the couple might not have been staying there anymore.
I'm telling you, Meghan's new publicity team, Meghan's new publicist is getting their money's worth. Between the last 2 weeks, Meghan is back in the game. They don't have anything of value to promote right now. This desperation we're seeing from Harry and Meghan is to establish themselves before William becomes king and strips them of any relevancy whatsoever.
The shift stayed quiet. No headlines, no big scene, just movement happening low-key. Then legal documents came in and made it heavier. A Santa Barbara County court filing laid things out with no polish, no spin, just direct facts that raised serious questions. The carefully built image started to wobble. With no royal backing, the Montecito situation turned into another headline. The final detail hit hard. The private lease reportedly wasn't renewed due to conflicts over how the property was used. And it didn't stop there. The Spotify deal, once hyped at $25 million, also fell apart. Issues with content, engagement, and creative clashes stacked up behind the scenes. What was supposed to grow into a major media force just couldn't find its rhythm. A deal worth around $25 million ended up producing only one podcast season. And that gap didn't go unnoticed. The early hype faded fast. What once looked like a big comeback started feeling quiet, almost underwhelming. Then another hit came, this time involving Netflix. That massive $100 million partnership didn't look so solid anymore. Industry insiders started spotting issues: lower viewership, creative tension, and rising concerns about brand risk all showing up at once. Netflix didn't make noise about it, but the shift was obvious. No big renewals, no major follow-ups, just a slow pullback from what was once expected to dominate. The momentum didn't crash overnight, but it definitely cooled. And then attention shifted again, this time to the Archewell Foundation. Reports claimed regulators in both the US and UK started taking a closer look, focusing on finances, tax filings, and internal payments. At the same time, former staff reportedly filed complaints tied to workplace issues, adding even more pressure behind the scenes. The focus turned to how certain deals may have been presented during negotiations. And if confirmed, that kind of issue doesn't stay quiet. It sticks to the brand and builds pressure fast. Looking at the bigger picture, a pattern started showing. Since stepping away from royal duties, multiple projects tied to Meghan have faced delays, setbacks, or unexpected problems. What once looked like a smooth move into independence now feels like a chain of complicated moments. One deal slows, another fades, and the spotlight keeps shifting. Then another big name entered the mix: Tyler Perry. He was once seen as a strong supporter, even offering his Beverly Hills home during their move to the US. But now, reports suggest things might not be as solid. Claims of tension started circulating, including possible issues tied to finances. The full details aren't clear, but it adds pressure. The tone has shifted, and what once looked controlled now feels uncertain, with key relationships being questioned. She was expected back in California with a full schedule, including plans for Archie and Lilibet's upcoming school term. But in that moment, none of it mattered.
Will, allow their relationship with Prince Harry to expire, but they are holding on tightly to Meghan to work with Meghan in hopes that if there is a divorce, they would get the exclusive and pounce on that access to Meghan, because they know that that's the next big thing that would.
Dubai had already made its call, and even strong connections couldn't change it. That raises a bigger question. How fast can everything flip when support starts shifting? As the Dubai story spread worldwide, new speculation started building around what insiders called a 4-point risk check. Reports suggest this internal review may explain why UAE officials made their move. Under Emirati law, entry decisions are tightly controlled, but this may have gone deeper than routine checks. There were signs of internal notes circulating before arrival, reviewing reputation, influence, and public impact. Some even believe attempts to speed up clearance using global connections backfired, triggering more scrutiny instead. Another concern? Media attention. Officials reportedly didn't want a flood of cameras, influencers, and brand teams taking over the airport during major events. In the end, every detail counted, and control took priority in a system where nothing is left to chance. Reviewers reportedly spotted inconsistencies between the stated purpose of the trip and the sponsorship details tied to those golf meetings. And at that level, even small mismatches don't get ignored. They raise serious flags fast. Then came the fourth factor: cultural sensitivity. Officials were cautious about bringing in a high-profile figure linked to recent controversies, especially with major events already underway. The concern? Too much media attention, too many distractions. Put all four factors together, and the picture gets clear fast. This wasn't routine. It was calculated and deliberate. In that moment, Meghan Markle wasn't viewed as a VIP guest, but as a potential reputational risk in a tightly controlled space. Once that call reached senior officials, everything moved quick. Entry clearance was pulled, her passport returned, and just like that, The visit was over before it even started. No delay, no second chances. Within hours, the story exploded across global media, with airport clips spreading fast, turning a quiet exit into a worldwide moment. Some PR analysts went even further, calling the Dubai incident a serious reputational hit. From their view, this wasn't just about denied entry. It signaled a bigger issue playing out on a global stage. Reports also claimed Meghan felt frustrated with how everything unfolded, especially how public and unexpected it became. Sources tied to UK diplomatic circles described the response as distant and cold, while royal commentators pointed to growing strain around her post-royal brand. Behind the scenes, things reportedly slowed down. Business talks stalled, the palace stayed silent, and damage control kicked in fast. Strategy meetings, messaging shifts, and legal consultations all started moving at once as the story kept spreading. The image of confidence and independence now faced serious pressure. And the big question started rising. What happens next? Where does Prince Harry stand in all this? Insiders suggest tension has been building, with long talks and quiet gaps painting a more complicated picture than it seems. The spotlight isn't fading. It's only getting stronger. What once looked like a modern royal success story now feels like a turning point. The road ahead? Unclear, with real questions building around image, direction, and what comes next. Is this just a setback that turns into a comeback? Or the start of something much harder to fix? Can Meghan rebuild her public image and rise again? Or will the pressure keep growing and pull Harry in even deeper? Drop your thoughts below. And if you've been following this story, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to stay locked in on what's really unfolding.